I was spending an obscene amount of time on an activity that was producing zero results, and I might not have realized that without the evaluation. Everyone, it is Tina with Picture It Personal Finance. I am a financial coach who helps small business owners and professionals clean up their money lives so that they can pursue the work that they really love. I am often talking to business owners, and to be candid with you, I get a lot of financial coaches reaching out to me because of some of my prior videos and asking for guidance on how to move forward with their coaching practice. And I also have conversations with many of my ideal clients who are small business owners and especially solopreneurs. And I think very frequently when you are a solopreneur, you rely on yourself and you feel like it's like you're the only one in your business. So you feel like you know everything about your business, which is a lie. You do in some ways know everything about your business, but it's very surface level at times, right? Because you're going through the flow. You're not really necessarily sitting down, thinking about and meditating on your business and meditating on ways that you can do things better. So I would like to suggest that you begin performing regular evaluations. This is important whether or not you are working by yourself or you are working with a team. As a matter of fact, I recently was speaking with a client who was feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of content that his team was creating. And one of the things that came out of our conversation about how he could feel more in control of the content that they're producing and also throttle the budget that's tied to that because he's paying other staff to produce this is to perform an evaluation. And frankly, he could invite his staff into doing that evaluation with him. I think that the more perspectives that you can get, the better the evaluation results will be. Now, for myself, I am a solopreneur. I am the only one working in my business aside from a few things that I contract out. And with that in mind, I perform all of my own evaluations. What do I mean by doing an evaluation, and what could you do an evaluation on? You can do them on anything. I say that a little bit funny, right? A little tongue-in-cheek there. You can do it on everything and everything and anything. And you can, and I don't necessarily think you have to, but you should be doing it on anything that is an important function within your organization. So, for example, I will perform evaluations on several things, and the things that I find the most important evaluations that I perform or the most enlightening evaluations that I perform are the evaluations on my sales calls and the evaluations on my client meetings and the evaluations on my key performance indicators. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that when I perform a sales call, I will sit down afterward, either that day or the next day. The sooner you can do it, the better, right? So that it's nice and fresh in your memory. And I will go through the following questions. What went well? What didn't go well? And what would I do differently next time? It's that simple. I mean, honestly, these are the core questions that if you have had any job anywhere, performed any type of evaluation, it's always those questions. What went well? What worked? What didn't go well or what didn't work? And how do you want to change? What's the delta? With that in mind, you can get tremendous insight into how to improve your business and how to improve your business quickly. Now, as I mentioned, I do it for sales calls and consultations. I will do it for presentations. If I have a public speaking engagement, I will kind of evaluate, all right, what went well? My presentation deck was good. People responded to the graphics that I used. I had very engaging questions that got the audience really keyed up to participate. What didn't go well? I made really poor eye contact. I rushed too quickly. I spoke too quickly in the beginning of the presentation. What could I do differently next time? I could practice the first 10 minutes of my presentation with paced speech so that I don't rush through that content and thereby lose my audience during the parts that might be the most engaging or that will hook their attention right at the beginning, right? That's just a really quick evaluation that I might have done on a presentation I gave a few months ago. Other evaluations that are really noteworthy, like I mentioned, could be your KPIs. And so this is one that has especially been, a little bit painful for me to admit, but I am looking for new clients. I am constantly kind of talking about my business. The life of an entrepreneur is one that's filled with, I guess I will call it a walk in faith, right? You are constantly looking for new clients. You're constantly trying to express to somebody that you can serve them and hope that they will take you up on that offer of service. And you don't always know where all your clients are going to come from, especially if you have a model that's fee-based and is project-based, right? Because then you don't have a sort of trustworthy recurring income. You really have to rely on new business all the time. So one of the things that I've recently done is done a review of my marketing KPIs. So what I do is every month I have these key performance indicators. They're just things that I track to say, okay, how many posts did I make on social media? How many leads did that generate for me? How many proposals did I submit for bookkeeping? How many people said yes to those proposals? How did these people find? How many consultations did I have? How did those consultations find me? How many of those consultations converted into a paying client? This is some of the information that you should be tracking within your business. And incidentally, if you're interested in having a more detailed conversation about key performance indicators, let me know. This is one of the things that I do work on clients with individually. And so again, if you are a small business owner and these are the type of questions you're struggling with and you want to work with me, check the description box below because I do have my contact information in there and you can have a free clarity session with me, which is my way of having a consultation with you, but I promise feedback in every single clarity session so you will get value from it. It's not just going to be a wasted 45 minutes of your life. I do want everyone to be aware of these ideas and institute them into their businesses because this is really insightful. Case in point, I had it in my head that I absolutely had to go to networking events. I thought networking events is the way. I got some business coaching and that coach said, get out, meet as many people as possible, tell them what you do and make an offer to serve them. And that's what I did. I went out to seriously, so many networking events, you guys. It's hard for me to even suggest how many hours I put into this over a 9-month period. But what I didn't do was evaluations because I was busy evaluating my sales calls and my presentations and my elevator speech, all sorts of different things. But I didn't actually evaluate how many clients these marketing events or these networking events were bringing into me. When I finally realized, I should do that. I should do that analysis. I was so disappointed to realize that I had spent 9 months attending probably anywhere from 1 to 4 networking events a week for 9 months. And that resulted in literally 1 paying client in that whole time. Now it felt like more was going on because I was getting speaking engagements and things and I was getting consultations during that time. But when I sat down and looked, it turned out that many of the consultations I was getting had nothing to do with the networking events. They were coming to me through social media posts or through referrals or through YouTube. And so because of that, I just didn't connect the dots. And when I finally sat down and did that evaluation, I realized, oh my gosh, I feel like a fool. Like I've wasted so many hours pursuing a path to find clients that was unfruitful and blaringly unfruitful at that. If I had not taken the time to look at my key performance indicators, because I track how many meetings I go to, how many conversations I have, how many consultations I have, I track how my consultations find me. If I hadn't taken the time to capture those key performance indicators or those important metrics, and then taken the time to evaluate them and review them, I would have never realized that these meetings that I'm going to don't serve me at all. This is what I want you all to do. I want you to look at where are the ways that you are spending your time in your business. I want you to look at the ways that you are attracting clients in your business. I want you to look at the ways that you are representing your business in a setting that would ultimately attract clients to you. And I want you to evaluate all of those. Furthermore, if you are an established business and you have a team, maybe you need to be evaluating your standard operating procedures and your processes and find ways that you can become more efficient. I think right now I'm still in a growth phase in my business, so I'm very focused on those sort of growth activities. But frankly, if your business has been around much longer and you're at a position where you really need to be evaluating efficiency within your business, then certainly use the evaluation in that way. So there you have it, guys. Remember to ask yourself, what's going well? what's not working, and how would I like to do things differently, and trust your answers. You know the answers. I guess that's the final point I'll make, is so frequently we will do these evaluations. Not everybody does this, but a lot of people do this and they feel like, well, I don't know what I don't know, or I don't have the answers. Well, I'm here to tell you that you do have the answers. If you don't have the answers, you at least know enough to know where to go to find the answer that you're looking for. So maybe if you recognize something isn't working, you might not know exactly how to fix it, but you might know the person who could give you that answer. Or you might know the breadcrumb, follow the breadcrumb to get to the answer that you're ultimately looking for. Or you might just start using that as an opportunity to do research. What might you do differently? Well, I might research how to hold a better sales call, or I might research how to improve my elevator speech, or I might research how to deliver a more dynamic presentation. And there's lots of things that you can do in the what would I do differently. I don't want you to feel like you have to have the ultimate solution right in that section of your evaluation, but it should be something that will draw out action from you that will ultimately lead to improvements in your business. Whew. All right, that was a mouthful. Well, like I said, I have been doing my evaluations, and I have to be honest with you, my sales calls are so much better. I am hosting better client meetings. It has improved my confidence in both of those areas. I feel my presentations have improved. So I am a full advocate for the evaluation, but the number one point, and probably the biggest doozy, is I was spending an obscene amount of time on an activity that was producing zero results. And I might not have realized that without the evaluation. So do yourself a favor and get those evaluations done today. Leave me a comment below to let me know how that evaluation goes for you. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.